Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ambassador Greer, nice to see you today. Welcome. Yesterday, I was at the White House as the President announced $12 billion in bridge payments to our farmers. And it's no secret that the farm economy is in a tough place right now. There are very high input costs. We're looking at, obviously, adverse weather conditions across much of farm country. So I am glad and thankful that the President did provide this assistance. However, ultimately, what Nebraska farmers want are markets to sell their products. And I know you're working on that, especially for our soybean farmers. The deal that you negotiated with China in November, it was very welcome news. And we have seen soybean prices increase since then. But there remains anxiety about if and when China will fully follow through on those purchase commitments that were made. The White House fact sheet on the deal stated China would purchase at least 12 million metric tons of U.S. soybeans during the last 2 months of 2025. And that was followed then by 25 million metric tons over the next 2 years. Ambassador, over the weekend, I saw that you made comments about China being on pace for these purchases this growing season. Can you walk me through how you are monitoring China's purchases and what is the timeline for the 12 million metric ton purchases? Is that timeline not by the end of this calendar year?
It is for this growing season. So thank you for highlighting that. We've heard from a couple farmers. They wanted to know about that discrepancy. And it is a discrepancy. It's through the growing season, which is, again, when we usually expect soybeans to be sold through the growing season. How are we monitoring it? I mean, on a nearly daily basis, we're checking with, USDA has their statistical services and reports. I personally have contacts in Asia, soybean traders who give me updates, and so I'm verifying, between what I'm hearing from Asia, what we're seeing in the stats and the data, and the same goes.
How's it look?
So we're at about 3 million metric tons of beans so far. We think they're on track through the growing season to do this. We do want a large amount in the first couple of months. The president himself is engaged on this. He talks to President Xi and he raises this. I mean, this is an area where China should be buying from us. We have all kinds of areas where we want to manage trade with China. We worry about what we buy or what we sell to them, but ag is someplace where we should sell and they should buy. That should be the most robust part of our relationship.
Okay, thank you. I also want to discuss with you about the impact tariffs have had on some manufacturers that we have in the state of Nebraska. I strongly support the goals of strengthening manufacturing in our country, and while I know that tariffs have helped some industries, others have really suffered. Like many of my colleagues, I've heard from several manufacturers that have a long time, significant presence in Nebraska that they are being harmed by tariffs to the point of having to consider layoffs. And unfortunately, many have already done so. For many of these businesses, the challenge is the products that they are manufacturing are competing in a global environment. When they are having to pay an increased cost for materials and inputs, yet their competitors are not, they are at a really competitive disadvantage. For example, one manufacturer in Nebraska has competitors that manufacture in Canada. They don't pay the tariffs for similar materials, yet they can send their product duty-free into the United States under the USMCA. I know the intent of these tariffs is to support our domestic manufacturing. We all support that. We all want to see that continue to grow. And I'd like to ask if I can follow up with you and your team and walk through some of the challenges that are facing these specific businesses, and hopefully we can figure out some solutions and ensure that these tariffs are not having a number of unintended consequences. So I look forward to being able to have those conversations with you.
Of course, Senator, we're happy to discuss it. Thank you.
Thank you. As I've been discussing some of the challenges facing our manufacturing industry, I also want to recognize some positives that we have from these trade deals that have been announced. In particular, the foreign investment commitments from other countries, I think, have a huge opportunity to help reshore some of these critical supply chains over time. And a number of the companies have located to my state that could benefit from strategic investment partnerships. So as we see these foreign investment partnerships from countries are being negotiated as part of a deal, can you talk about how the administration is working to help connect these American companies with foreign companies in order to achieve this?
Certainly. So the Commerce Department is really assisting in the inbound investment. They have an investment accelerator unit at the Commerce Department that is designed to assist foreign companies that are coming in to make sure they understand the permitting scheme, to connect them with potential investment opportunities. So we're happy to connect any businesses or investment opportunities you have with the Commerce Department.
Good. I think there's a lot of opportunities ahead for us. But we just have to stay on track to understand what maybe some of the challenges are that we face and then push forward so we can get this done. Thank you.
Thank you.